precautions, of course. But to caution, make sure watching what I touch or anything like that. I'm not gonna eat anything. I'm gonna find some space and sit somewhere not near anybody, of course, because right now it's showing mask is required here. Yep, see, mask is required. Mask, everybody take precautions, everything. No concessions or anything. So they closed all the concession stands down. So no refill, anything like that. Nobody can't touch anything. But they're showing Tenet a whole lot, like in all my theaters. But I got the 431, of course. To look inside, there's nobody even in here right now. Let's see. So nobody's in here. Then they let you pick seats. Don't do the back seat, of course. I like to sit in the back. This is my first time going to the movies in 6 months. That's as long as it's been. But they took me very cautions. I feel safe. I know there's people going out there and cleaning and everything, so that's really good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got the back row, as you can see. Nobody in here. Which more people might come a little bit, but parking lot was pretty empty anyway. People still taking precautions. But I always say, only go if you feel comfortable going. Take precautions, wear your mask, and be safe. All right, my review will be up soon on Tenet. All right, here we go. That's how the movie's gonna be by myself in the movie theater. Hey, I just got to see Tenet. I want to do my review right now because I wanted to really just talk about it. So Tenet, directed by Christopher Nolan. You got Robert Pattinson, Battison, our next Batman coming out hopefully next year. You got John David Washington. Of course, everybody knows that's Denzel Washington's son. You got Kenneth Branagh. He's the bad guy in this movie, of course. And basically, Tenet is just a movie that is like a spy movie. I get a lot of hint of James Bond in this a little bit. Just you gotta save the world. Something's happening. You got a bad guy, of course. But what happens really is they put a good twist on this. Is where it's kind of time traveling, but it's not. It's like kind of like going into the past and inverting it. Yes, if you heard a lot of things about this movie can be confusing at a lot of times, especially if you don't really pay attention. You really have to sit there, look, not be on your phone, anything. You really have to pay attention to this movie. You really have to analyze every single thing in this movie. And even though I felt confused a lot of times, I felt like, oh my goodness, I still tried to keep up with the movie. I tried to see everything because there's little hints of a lot of things in this movie that you might miss. There's little things in here that, they throw at you to try to have you keep up with the movie. If you don't see those little things, you will fall behind the movie and you won't be able to catch up. That's why when the movie first comes on, you have to really sit and watch the movie. You have to notice every little thing that things are saying. Now, a lot of things that everybody's been really agreeing with this movie is the sound. The sound in this movie is not that good, especially when there's a lot of dialogue and people talking, and really they are trying to explain or talk about certain things in this movie, and when certain sounds elevate, it's hard to hear them, and that really takes you out the movie because you gotta lean in really close to really hear what they're saying and understand, because if you don't, you miss something, you might get confused, you might get lost in the movie, which I like Christopher Nolan. I like some of his movies. I'm not a big Christopher Nolan fan or anything like that. I came into this movie basically just as a person who likes to go see movies, and I haven't been to the movies for about 6 months. The thing, since the shutdown, I went to my local theater, and nobody was really in there. As you seen in my previous clip, I was coming into the movies. You really don't see anybody. It's pretty spaced out. By the time the movie started, only people that came in about 5 other people. They sat up there in the front, near the middle, and that was it. Nobody really came in the theater. Nobody really, was there really. But I felt safe. I felt secure. Nobody was around me. I kept my mask on. I didn't eat anything. I just went in there, wanted to enjoy a good movie. And the movie is not bad. John David Washington, he is an okay actor. With him, I just get a lot of same tones. I get a lot of, not that... certain emotions that you would think you would get of certain things that are happening. He's not... It's unfair to say to compare him to his dad because even though even though that's his father and everything, he's still his own person. But still, it's still hard not to compare it because of course that's your dad, so you would think maybe your father would give you pointers, and in this movie. He is very weak. He is very weak in this movie. A lot of times, he is the star. He is the top billing. It's him, then Robert Pattinson, then everybody else, in this movie. And of course, Robert Pattinson, everybody knows him from Twilight and all that. But he is a fantastic actor. If you watch a lot of his old stuff, I'm sorry, not old stuff, but you watch a lot of his other stuff, you will see that he is a really good actor. And when he's on the screen, he outacts John David Washington. He outacts him. He's just a pure actor. It's something that it's something that you have internally, as a gift, but also something that you mature and get better at it. And you can see that Robert Pattinson has gotten better at acting. Now, John David Washington, you can tell that he's still learning. You can tell that certain nuances in scenes and in the movie, you feel like that it could have been different. You feel like that it could have worked out a different way, or his emotion should have been different, or he should have emoted more in certain scenes in the movie. And he didn't that. And maybe hopefully that's something that he can improve on in the future. I'm not going to dog him because I think it's not something easy, of course. It's something that you have to craft and get better at. Sometimes it's something that's in you that you have to bring out and get better at it. So I'm not going to dog him. Like I said, he at times fell flat in the movie, yes. At times he just felt like it was the same throughout the movie. It's the same thing over and over again. It wasn't something different. At times you felt like he was supposed to be a badass, but you didn't get that badass out of him. He had his moments of like being a badass, but it fell flat. And he was like, I told you. Yeah. And I was like, okay. So, because I feel like, yes, you don't want to be just like your father, but you do want to get certain things out of that. And we all know if Denzel was in that same predicament, it would have been totally different because he would have just brought that. And John doesn't bring that just yet. He's able to read the lines and spit them when he's supposed to, but the thing is, it's just that when he doesn't, I'll say it falls flat again, and it doesn't add up too much when it needs to. Robert Pattinson, when you meet, so when you meet him, he has that look, that I'm a cocky person, but I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. I am a badass. When you see John David Washington, you don't really get that. Like I said, I'm not trying to dog him out this whole review, but I'm just pointing out the things that people will complain about it. Like, I'm not going to be like he's horrible. He's not. But he falls flat in a lot of scenes that he's in, which he's almost in every scene because he's the main character. But he still did an okay job. Yes, I feel like somebody else in his position could have done a much better at it, but he still did an okay performance, which I wish it could have been a little bit more than what he gave. But of course, you take it. Now the confusing parts of it is the inverting thing and how they explain it and everything. And at times I kind of understand because it kind of works backwards. And you go in there and certain things happen. Now, you get kind of confused too because you have a car chase scene and the cars are inverted as well. And you feel like, well, how did that happen? But as you watch the movie along and see what happens and how everything's kind of split between each other, okay, I see what happened. I see with the cars it's not. I can see with the cars how they're inverted, because when something's inverted, everything is going backwards. So something happened already. But when you watch the movie and really paying attention closely and you see things happen, you see little nuances, maybe certain like something broken, like the windshield or something like that is already broken when they went to a car or a building. You see something happen. Well, something already happened. That's why you have to pay attention to certain things, because when the camera pans at certain things in this movie, because the movie kind of helps you along as well if you're really paying attention. When the camera pans to a certain thing, or when the camera zooms in, you have to zoom in. You have to really pay attention to that, because something's going to trigger you to be like, oh, I need to pay attention to that. and it all full comes in full circle, and I like that. I mean, like I feel like you don't have to be a genius, and sometimes it's okay to be confused in movies, because to me, to be a little bit confused but still kind of understand a little bit gives me intrigue, gives me want to watch the movie again and enjoy it, because I feel like you will enjoy this movie. You just turn your brain up slightly turn your brain off just a little bit and enjoy what the movie's giving you. Enjoy Christopher Nolan show you what he directed, what he wrote, and what he brings on the screen. You're like, that's different. It's good to see something different in this movie, and something how they play with time different as well. I like that. So even though it can be confusing sometimes, the sound could be much better. The sound is not good. So a lot of times when they're kind of talking slow, like low or something like that, and the sound is rising, that is distracting, and that can get annoying sometimes. But she would work with the sound better. Maybe somebody else than John David Washington, maybe more of a seasoned actor for a movie like this, a movie that was built up, because this movie was supposed to come out a couple months ago, but since things happen, a lot of things shut down, it kind of lost its momentum. And also, I kind of wish maybe the movie would have came out in 2021, give it some time, and people would have came out and watched it. But I digress. I still enjoy the movie. The action in the movie is really really, really good. I love the action. The cinematography is beautiful. How they capture is really good. The editing, at times it can be kind of muffled a little bit, but to me, I feel like the editing, to me, it was kind of up and down. It's maybe because of the inverted thing, how it is. So maybe he kind of implemented that as well. So, other than that, I enjoyed this movie. I take it for what it is. I enjoy how different it is. I enjoy how he added time travel with being a spy movie, stopping the bad guy, the action, all that. You get the scientific with the action, with the 007, with all that in this movie, and I enjoyed it. I feel like everyone should go see this movie. If you love action movies, you like thrillers, you like something that make you think and make you really pay attention, you just have fun with it, go see Tenet. I think Tenet is a good movie. It's not awesome because it does have a lot of flaws in it, with the sound, some of the acting, the dialogue, time traveling with the score, with the cinematography, things like that built up the movie. I think that's what makes it really good as well. So I enjoyed this. I probably will watch this again when it comes on DVD or streaming, of course. I want to watch it again because I want to pay attention closely. But also, I want to hear Christopher Nolan. I want to hear the director's cut, him talk about it. But this is a creative movie that I truly enjoyed, and I liked it and I had fun. Also, maybe because I haven't been to the theaters within 6 months. But other than that, this is a really good movie. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. Confusing at times, yes. Fun, yes. Good action, yes. That's all we really want to need, and we're going to see a movie. But if you've seen it, leave a comment below. Hopefully I get to see more movies in the theaters, and also being safe with it. Like I said, I'm doing this in my car because I want to give a fresh take on it. I want to go ahead and give a fresh review of it. I enjoyed it. Like I said, go see it if you can, and enjoy it, because it's a fun, wild movie that really makes you think, that really makes you want to talk to your friends about it who else saw it. So that's it, because I didn't stop this before I melt in here in this car. But I enjoyed it. Go see it. Go see Tenet. And out of 5, I give this movie a solid 4. This is a decent, good Christopher movie. Not one of his best movies, but it's a movie that everybody needs to go watch, really, and up the game in the spy movies, in my opinion. Upped it. What 007 had, I hope it's better than this, with more, because this one had a good plot in it. I like what the plot is. So see what 007 has when that comes up. But until then, peace.